Very interesting calls this bird has. Still not quite sure what it is. Screams sometimes, like a human child. Anyways, he'll be joining us today. So it's April 16th today. Finally, the wind has died down. It was just chaos out here yesterday. I stepped on that pot. The storm didn't destroy it. And that's the destroyed pot from my willow leaf ficus. Anyways, it's about 8 or 9 degrees right now. I've got my indoor trees out in the shady sun. I've got a bunch of trees that had crushed that one even more. A bunch of trees that had fallen over. A few of them even fell down on the ground. Like my larger pine back here. I think it's okay, but all the moss was tossed off, the pot, and soil everywhere. So hopefully they're doing okay. These are the ones that are starting to, show some leaf movement. So I've got I think this is mountain ash number 1. The first one I did. Yeah, it's looking real nice. Very cool. The other ones that I pruned and repotted are, things are starting to happen anyways. My gray alder here in the birch family is leafing out and looks very cool. I love the way these, birch type leaves look. The alders in the birch family. And then this is the little maple from the backyard that I collected a couple weeks ago, almost by accident. Anyways, I should show it if I can get back in there, but the actual birch tree, paper birch or silver birch maybe, there it is, there's the bud opening up real nice. Everything else still pretty asleep, but oops. There's the poplar. Pretty much the same since I repotted it. Yeah, buds are starting to enlarging on a few things. And this one, which is actually one of my favorite trees. I think it's a red maple, not 100%, but pretty sure red maple. Maybe this is my silver maple, actually. I'll have to double check my records. Be cool if this one was a silver maple. Anyways, these buds are ready to burst, so I think I've caught it at just the right time. I'm gonna start my repotting today with this one. Take my time with it. There's lots of roots on the surface. I want to make, an interesting nabari. I think it'll be pretty cool. Anyways, here goes. Okay, so I'm still not 100%, but for the time being, I'm gonna call this silver maple number 1. These buds are just about ready to burst, and in the time it took me to set up this video, I decided the time is now to start training this tree as a bonsai in a little bonsai training pot. Little seeds that are flying around the neighborhood, not quite sure what they're from, but something is seeding in the spring. So you can see all the roots in there. This is going to be an interesting one. And pretty sure I have just enough soil to fill this up. Maybe I'll fill it up part way first, just to make sure. And the holes on the bottom of these pots aren't too big, so I just put in my normal mix, and then, you know, a few things will drain out the bottom first before a large chunk of perlite or something will fill up the gap. Anyways, so we'll see how deep I'll be able to plant this root system, but for now, that's how I'll set this pot up. Put it off to the side. And get started here. So yeah, I've talked about this before, but you know, I found this tree about a year and a half ago, I guess, August 2020, up north at the cottage in the Algonquin area, outside the park, of course, but near it. Anyways, this was just a stick that I found kind of poking out of the sand. It looked like this was a twig that had broken off of the tree, and then, you know, it got trampled into the sand or just buried somehow, and it ended up rooting down here, and then there was some bud on it that had grown up and then died off and then grown up again. Yeah, and then that's how I found it. So I'm pretty sure it was around this tall, really skinny when I got it, and then last year it just grew up like crazy. I already did the pruning on this. Eventually I'm gonna cut it down like this and have something kind of grow out here, but these were really good buds, so I wanted to, you know, capitalize on that. I'll make this tree nice and strong in its training pot first, and then I can shorten it and worry about the overall, you know, eventual structure. Also, these roots are pretty cool. This, you know, main root almost like split in half. There wasn't any damage there, but it's like two veins started. There's like a vein that's feeding the roots here, and then another vein that's feeding the branch or something. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I'll take a look at it from the other side, you know, because there's something going on in there too, but we can't quite see that yet. Anyways, without further ado, okay, not bad. Now, I had this pot, you know, out in the open, and it rained pretty heavily last night, so it's pretty soaked right now. But I'll just be a little bit extra careful with the roots. Take my time with this one. I'll probably plant moss on it. Maybe I can collect some moss right now, actually. Yeah, I'll do that too on this video. There's a whole bunch of moss growing in the cracks between the paving stones here in my backyard. Yeah, it definitely would be nicer if the soil was drier, but that's fine. It is what it is. This is, I think, the perfect day. Maybe one day before the perfect day for the repotting of this tree. But I don't know if these buds have grown, you know, bulged out a lot in the last couple weeks, the last week especially. So I figured it was fine. I have a lot of other trees to, you know, repot over the next couple weeks, as they're gonna be turning into their perfect timing. So anything I can get done a day or two or even a week early is okay for me right now. There's that sunshine. Yeah, yesterday I did that, what I called my ASMR bonsai video, or bonsai ASMR video. Yeah, I didn't do any talking. I was kind of annoyed yesterday at all the wind outside. It wasn't good for taking a video. You know, the sound on the microphone would have been crazy. All my perlite was flying around. Things were falling in the backyard. Actually, our internet cable had fallen off the side of the house because apparently it was, installed a little bit improperly. So we had the technician come and fix that. Yeah, pretty wild day. So I didn't really feel like talking, but I definitely wanted to do my one video for that day, I don't think I mentioned, but today is April 16th, which is day 12, I think. Day 12 of my epic repotting season. Much crazier than last year's repotting season was, that's for sure. I actually have roots to deal with. Okay, this one's almost ready for a little wash. Not quite. And then I can really take a look at this root system. It's a pretty thick mass of roots there. I think I can maybe take part of that off, although I think I'm gonna want it because I want to have, I want to plant this as like almost a kind of raft style with like an exposed root system like that. So yeah, sorry about this neighborhood noise. nothing I can do about that. Oh well. Okay, so what am I working with here? So I'll definitely shorten all these down. And I want to try and train this one to come out this way. Maybe I can put a stone under that or something. And then have all these ones kind of splayed out like that. Yeah, I think that'd be interesting. Yeah, it's really unfortunate there's a screaming child. They've been playing this weird game lately where they just scream. Okay, well, I think I might cut off what you might call this taproot, I guess, way back here. I don't really want this thick one, that's kind of coming back this way. So I'll keep these roots and just cut off the rest, I think. Yeah, I think that's an okay plan. I'll give it another little wash because I'm gonna have to use my good pruners. That's where I'm gonna cut it. Okay. Yeah, right there. That's good. And I'll try to cut at an angle that will encourage some, more root growth out that way. Thinking about my, root plane and root flare a little bit. Maybe something like this. Okay, that's a lot of root coming off, of course. That's pretty much the name of the game during this repotting season. I've got a lot of young trees and a lot of root training that they need to have. Yeah, okay, I think this is good for now. Maybe I can get rid of that one that's going straight down at kind of an odd angle. one right here. Yeah, okay, quite happy with that. Now we'll just figure out, you know, how wide these roots can be. So I'll just kind of get them splayed out all in the right direction. Do a little bit of cutting along the way. So there's kind of this thicker one in the middle and some off-branching ones, so I can cut it back to those. And then shorten it overall to there for now. This one, if I can train, you know, this one to go that way, maybe I'll just get rid of this one. I don't know. I'm gonna get rid of this one that grows a weird direction. Can you even see that? Nope. This one grows a weird direction. Get rid of that. Yeah, these both I can train to go. Actually, I'll cut this one back to a thinner root, and then I'll keep this one going that way. This thick one, you know, that's really thick, but I want to keep that anyways. That can just be a little shorter. Same with this. Okay, on the other side, this thick one continues down there. Chop that, replace it with these thinner ones here, and a little shorter. This one in behind, I'm gonna try and, you know, splay them out so they're growing like this. Can just be shortened, and that just shortened. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Pretty happy with that. I'll just get rid of this one that's shooting out at a right angle there. Okay, yeah. Get that little bit of moss out of there and just kind of take a look at what's going on here. So there's the one split and then the other one down here. Pretty interesting slash weird. Yeah, we'll see how that develops in the future. Okay, now I can get this planted. So that'll come here, that'll come here. Just get that under it. Kind of push it out that way. This one comes that way. These ones out this direction. separate these ones. Another piece of lava rock. I can get it in there without messing everything up. Okay, scraped that root a little bit. Hopefully that won't be a big deal. Okay, I think I might be happy with that. It's a little bit of a different angle for it, but I think that'll be a good start towards its, little raft journey. I probably should have put it this way a little bit so this isn't overhanging the pot so much, but I needed to have these roots growing out this way to strengthen them up. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that, get it filled with the rest of this soil, work it in between the roots a little bit, and then wait for these children to stop screaming before the next video. Hopefully, if that ever happens. Yeah, I think I probably won't have enough. I'll have just enough to cover the roots for now, but once I mix up a little bit more, I'll add it on top of here, because I want to make sure all these roots are nice and buried so they stay damp and keep growing. I'll put a couple of stones on the surface of this one and some moss. Maybe I can, have it look like kind of a little landscape. That also helps weigh it down. Pretty excited to get this one in its first bonsai training pot, rather than, the nursery training pots. The pot that it's been in its whole life, that I've had it anyways, the last year or so. I mean, it's been in that pot for a year. I've had it for about a year and a half, but for the first half a year it was just in the sand that I collected it in, and just outside for the winter basically. I've only had one growing season with it. Yeah, so this stuff is a little fine grained. I probably shouldn't have even put that on there, but oh well. Just a little bit on the top. I don't think it'll affect drainage too much. The roots can grow lower down in between all the coarser stuff. Okay, just a little bit of water for now. I'll water it in further after the video, which I always do. I think if I could have gotten this root to come farther out this way, that would have been good. But maybe I'll just put some extra soil up around it and moss and hope some more roots grow out this way so I can get a nicer, more gradual root flare from that side. But otherwise, I'm really happy with this tree. Happy to get it into this pot. I left, a pretty good amount of root on it. It had a fairly decent radial-like system. Some pretty good, fine fibrous roots, which will be good for water intake. Once the first set of leaves open up, I'll start fertilizing it, and it should start growing like wild soon. I should get a bunch of branching that I can choose from to continue, you know, the wild shape and movement in the trunk down there. I'd like to get it growing back that way. That'd be pretty cool. So anyways, yeah, quite happy with that one. Really enjoying this repotting season so far, and really enjoying now going into some of my more interesting trees now that the timing is almost perfect. Okay, that's enough for now. Okay, it's a little bit later in the day now. Children aren't screaming, but they're playing ball hockey or something, which is better. Yeah, I got my soil mixed up, and I added more to this. And I've been sitting here thinking about it, and I figured, you know, this tree deserves a name, even though it's still very young and just starting its bonsai training journey. I was thinking, you know, if I am right about it, and this is a silver maple, and you know, I'm kind of getting like a surfing theme from this. You know, this is like the surfboard, and this is the surfer. I can grow a couple arms out of here maybe. So I'm gonna go ahead and name this tree Silver Surfer, or the Silver Surfer, maybe just Silver Surfer, which is a reference to Fantastic Four, of course. And yeah, I'm gonna do a couple things right now to kind of accentuate that, and then I'll see how it looks. I'm gonna use these, you know, for the first time I'll use some stone tools in one of my landscape designs, which has kind of been one of my, you know, long-term goals for this channel, Prehistoric Bonsai. This is like a scraper that I made out of Georgetown chert, a couple different spots that are good for scraping. Anyways, I'll kind of put these rocks back here. A couple things, maybe I won't use that one. This is like a drill, kind of a perforator. Yeah, so I'm gonna go collect some moss, and then I'll figure out the best way to kind of, you know, place those to make it look like these are the waves or something that the surfer's riding, and then there will be some moss representing, I don't know, something else, just the water, I guess. Yeah, we'll see how it looks after that. Okay, well I think that's the finished design for now anyways. It's not a finished, you know, it's not the final product anyways. It's just the first step towards something. I think, you know, this rock and this rock kind of look like a wave behind the surfer. You know, the bit of the white cortex showing kind of looks like the white caps, the white tips on the waves. And then there's, you know, the one over here. And then from the top, it almost looks like, you know, they're splitting the water. Anyways, this moss will hopefully kind of grow in a little bit thicker over the summer. It looks fairly healthy, pretty greened up, you know. I got it from this spot over here, which is keeps getting wet from where you know, that's where I'm watering my bonsai as I'm repotting them. Anyways, I think this is a good start for my second named tree, Silver Surfer, Silver Maple #1. Yeah, my first named tree was Phoenix, which I didn't actually say on video. I just kind of realized, you know, it popped into my head afterwards as I was publishing the video on YouTube, so it was too late to film anything for it. But Phoenix, the white ash tree that rose from the dead, you know, rose from the ashes of its previous self. Anyways, this is Silver Surfer. Off to a good start, I think. Let's get a little bit of water on it and see how it looks. Not too much different, but I like it. Surf's up, dude. Alright, as always, thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Cheers.